evening, YouTube model railroader fans. I'm Ray. Welcome to Boeville and Newtown's vlog number 9 for 2019. It happens to be Sunday, August 18th, 2019. Here we go again. I still don't have my iPad. The iPad is still dead, so much for that. I know it's been a while, and of course a few of you have probably noticed that I was on a much needed and somewhat extended vacation. Spent a 7-day cruise and land tour up to Alaska from Vancouver, and of course I got yelled at by Mr. Marcel, sorry. Our good buddy Marcel, who lives up in Vancouver, was like, I wished I would have known you were coming up. We could have got caught up, kind of hung out for a little bit, but for us, it was, you know, it was 8 of us, had the family, and that was one thing. The other thing of it is I really didn't know exactly where I was. Well, I knew where I was going, but I didn't know how much time and where we were actually going to be on this trip. I knew we were going from Canada into Alaska and so on and so forth, and we're going to talk a bit more about that here in a minute. First off, you're going to notice I've got myself yet another hat. This one here happens to be for the White Pass in Yukon, which happens to be in Skagway. Very interesting railroad, and like I said, we're going to touch on that one a little bit here in just a few minutes. Because I've got a bunch of pictures that I'm going to go ahead and put up that I took from the railroad and of the railroad. Not only got a chance to do the Yukon and or the White Pass in Yukon, but also got to take a ride on the Alaska Railroad twice. Once from Talkeetna to Denali, the national park, and then we were actually supposed to take the train again from Denali up to Fairbanks. The problem is that that week that we were there, they had gotten so much rain. They were having a problem in Denali just keeping the road open that takes you into the park. That was the first problem. When we got back out of the park, because the tour that we took you 66 miles into the park, and then they drove you 66 miles back out, obviously. But when we got back out, our tour guide mentioned to us that there was a slight change in plans for the afternoon, and what that change in plans entailed was the fact that there had been a rock slide between Denali and Healy, Alaska, and the train couldn't take us from Denali to Fairbanks because of the rock slide. So what we ended up doing was taking the bus from Denali, took that to Healy, and then left Healy on the train into Fairbanks. So it was a little bit of a shortened trip. We didn't get the chance to actually take it from Denali into Fairbanks, which kind of stunk, but it was what it was. Very interesting trip. Obviously, like I said, I got to take a couple of railroad rides, got to see a couple of railroads. There was an awful lot that went on this 7-day cruise and 4-day land tour. Obviously, this isn't the place for all of that. But like I said, I'm going to touch on the railroad type stuff, obviously, because that's what this is about. So, anyway, there was also another railroad that we actually took up. I say it was a railroad. It was actually a little mine train that took you into one of the gold panning areas, and I got a picture of that one as well. It was a little whimsical, but it was still 3-foot gauge, so it was kind of cool. But anyway, there has been, I'm going to switch gears here for a few minutes. There has been some work on the layout. I want to thank everybody who has been commenting and reaching out to me either on YouTube or Facebook or on IM about what's going on with the new Boeville and Newtown. Obviously, I've got a long way to go. Like I said, I've been doing some work down here, and in fact, I think what we're going to do is we're going to stop the camera here for a minute, and we're actually going to go ahead and take a look at the benchwork as it sits today. So give me a minute, we'll be right back. Okay, so here we are looking at the layout. Let me back up here a little bit. Where we're looking at the benchwork, you can see that I've got some boards up and things of that nature. Literally all of the extensions are done. They're braced, as you can see on the back side back here. That's I think it's a 1.5 foot extension on the back, and then I put up the bracing to the legs. So this end of the layout is pretty well braced up now. There are, or will be, and of course this one here doesn't have it yet, but there will be on the back side. You can't quite, maybe you can see it. Right below there's a block of wood that kind of help keep things even. The reason why there's no cross bracing on that particular leg is because that's where the shelving is going to be for the 2 hidden yards. So you'll have, on this side, you'll have the Richmond yard, and on this side of the leg, you'll have the Harrisburg yard. And they're going to be underneath the layout. So you can't exactly have cross bracing there if you're going to have some sort of cabinetry or some sort of drawers. So that's basically it. This is one of the 5 foot pieces of 2x4 that's going to support the bent, that'll actually support the top. It's just kind of sitting up there at the moment because I realized today I'm actually short some wood. So I'm going to have to pick up some stuff. These 2 pieces of board here are actually going to be cut down, and they'll be used for another section. I've got this board sitting up here. That's obviously that's an angle. That's comes off the bridge and comes over here. I'm calling that area the bridge, and you'll see why here in a little bit, why I call it the bridge. Even though it's not like the bridge on the old layout, they won't be swinging, it's not moving. This one here is pretty much solid. So coming over here to the bridge, I've got some interior bracing that I have to put in, which are these boards over here. I have to cut them down. If you notice, yes, my terminal strips are still on there from the old layout. Obviously, those will be coming off. I'm saving those. But you can see here that I've got the bracing for this set of legs done as well, so that they won't move. And one of the other things is underneath here, you can see I've got my electrical boxes mounted, and a couple of the outlets in place, and I'll explain more about that here in a bit. We were talking about why I was calling this the bridge. Well, there's the reason why we're calling it the bridge, because that area will be depressed. There will be a stream or a river in there. That's what I'm envisioning. That's the reason why instead of it being a 2x4, it's a 1x1, and it's on both sides. So that's the reason why that's there. There's no cross bracing yet on this pair of legs because I was still trying to figure out what I was doing with this area. So now that I've got that in place, I can work on cross braces for these legs. And as you can see, I've got another set of outlets sitting here, and that other box is actually a junction box. If I ever have to take the layout apart, that'll be a splice point. Okay, coming around, obviously those won't be staying. Here's another angled section. This here is the angled section that'll get you into the city, which will occupy this spot. I did not mount the electrical boxes yet. They're kind of sitting here. There's another junction box. I've got some cross bracing sitting up here because I haven't really cross braced all these legs up yet either. And this wood that's actually sitting up here is going to be for the section that mounts to the opposite side of this 4x8 section. This will actually be over here, will actually be a 2-foot section. So I've got a couple of the boards already set up for that, and I've got to get some of the boards off of the old Boeville, which is over here, and of course it's a little dark. I should have turned the other lights on, which I didn't do. Let me see if I can find the light switch here without making it, nope, I made it dark. It's the reason why you'll hear me talk about the rest of this in a minute. But you can also see there's another issue here. It's kind of dark over in this corner. But anyway, that's the bottom side of Boeville. So I've got two more 4-foot boards that I've got to take off of there, and they'll be used for this 2-foot deep section that'll actually be tied to this and actually come out this way. And of course there's more electrical boxes and more outlets. And let me go ahead and talk about these outlets for a minute. My father-in-law had a whole bunch of electrical stuff, and what I decided to do is I am actually color coding my outlets. So the orange ones will be for daylight. The black ones will be for blue lighting. Now, I'm sure that somebody is asking, and let me go ahead and get back to the computer table here, and we'll swing things back around. Okay, so we're going to try this a different way because my personal phone won't record long enough. So anyway, I was talking about the electrical stuff. So the black outlets are going to be for nighttime lighting, blue lighting. The orange outlets will be for daytime lighting. The white outlets, I think that's the white. The white outlets are going to be for my controllers for my locomotives themselves, and then the beige will be for house lighting. And I was going to use gray for my street lights, but gray outlets are expensive, so I just bought some extra white ones, and I'm either going to paint them or I'm going to put a different cover on them. But anywho, so that's basically what I'm going to be what I'm going to end up doing with the different parts on this thing for the electrical side. Now, obviously, I've still got some other work I want to do. First thing I want to do is get finished with all the bracing and everything else. I actually want to go ahead and run the electrical, at least get it run, maybe not connected, but at least get it run, because one of the things I want to do is I want to have a main shutoff. So what I want to do is come off the main panel of the basement, go over to the layout, have a shutoff for the layout, but that shutoff will be feeding another sub panel, will have all the circuits for all the different outlets and what they're used for. So that's where I'm headed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share some of the pictures. Hopefully that I took. I'm in the process of updating my PC. So we'll see how well this works. So hopefully I'm able to do a vlog by the time this is all said and done. But by the time it gets posted, it may be Monday or Tuesday. So at any rate, we'll go through some pictures and we'll be right back. Well, hope you all enjoyed a little pictorial that's sitting out there, and this vlog has already gone on long enough. So again, shout out to everybody who's been making comments on my videos. I really do appreciate it. Really do appreciate all the support from the community. Actually, there is one other thing I wanted to talk about real quick. I understand that we know where the YouTube creators for model railroading are headed next year. It sounds like we're headed to Strasburg, Pennsylvania. Sounds like a winner to me. Hope to see you all there. I'll be in, I think, May of 2020. So, you know, go ahead and get the plans together now, folks. I'm definitely gonna be up there. It's only an hour and a half up the road for me. So yeah, looking forward to seeing everybody again. Hey, like I said, listen, things are going to be starting to roll here. I'm hoping that between my personal phone, my work phone, and whatever else I need to do, I can keep things going with these vlogs. But if you don't hear from me for a while, I'm going to be putting another link down below for my Facebook page for the railroad and the group page for the railroad. So if you haven't already, look me up on Facebook if you've got it. You all know the deal. Wait for the highball. Green tracks ahead. We'll catch you all next time. Be safe. God bless. See ya.